all of you. I am your science teacher Lakshmi. So in the last class we were discussing the chapter food and health. So in the first class, do you remember children? I taught you about food, the components of food, and about water, roughage and balanced diet. In the last class, your Binu Miss taught you about health, then diseases, and she taught you that diseases are classified into two. What are they? Yes, non-communicable diseases and communicable diseases. And she taught you in detail about that deficiency diseases. Okay, the deficiency diseases and certain other diseases. Diseases related with heart problems, then cancer, obesity and so on. So, let's move on to our communicable diseases. Now, tell me some of the deficiency diseases you have studied last class. Night blindness, beriberi, then tell me. Yes. Okay, so which deficiency disease is caused by the deficiency of iodine? Yes, right. Now, which are the other non-communicable diseases you studied last class? Tell me some of them. Yes, very good. So, let's move on to our topic today, that is communicable diseases. What are communicable diseases? Communicable diseases are those diseases which are spread from one person to another person. Communicable diseases are spread from one person to another person. Communicable diseases are generally caused by microorganisms which can be called as germs. Have you heard the term microorganisms before? Can you tell me some of the microorganisms? Yes. Yes, so you have heard about microorganisms. Microorganisms cannot be seen with your naked eye. They are very tiny. They are microscopic. What do you mean by microscopic? That is, they can be seen only with the help of a microscope. So, microorganisms are single-celled. They are single-celled. They are microscopic. They cannot be seen with your naked eye. Some microorganisms are helpful to us. They are helpful to humankind. But most other microorganisms cause diseases. They are harmful to us. Some microorganisms are harmful to us and they cause diseases. And these disease-causing microorganisms can be called as germs. So, the disease-causing microorganisms can be called as germs. Now, let us study about communicable diseases in detail. The different germs like virus, then bacteria, fungi and protozoa, they are spread in the atmosphere and they are causing diseases to us. Okay. Now, these diseases which are spread from one person to another person are known as communicable diseases, and this germs spread in the following ways. Let's look which are the different types of ways in which the germs are spread. Okay. First one, through direct contact with an infected person. First one, through direct contact with an infected person. Okay. Now, what do you mean by infected person? A person suffering from a disease can be called as an infected person. Okay, a person suffering from a certain disease is called an infected person. Now, second one, through contaminated food and water or through dirty food and water. Third point, it is through insects. Through insects. So these are the ways in which the germs are spread. Okay. These are the ways through which the germs are spread. First one, through direct contact with an infected person. Second one, through contaminated food and water. That is through dirty food and water. Third one, through insects. Third one, through insects. Now, let's look into detail about the first one, that is through direct contact with an infected person. When an infected person coughs or when an infected person sneezes. So, when an infected person coughs or sneezes, the germs inside him is released into the atmosphere, that is into the air. Okay. And these germs can reach another person who is around him. Okay. So, when an infected person coughs or when he sneezes, the germs are released into the air and these germs can infect another person who is around him. Okay. And the other way is if you use the infected person's personal belongings like his clothes or his kerchief or his utensils like the plate or mug without washing, then you are prone to be infected. Okay, so you are also likely to be infected. So, if you use that infected person's personal belongings, the germs will be carried to you also. So, measles. Okay, measles is caused by measles virus. Then, now this virus can live up to few hours in the atmosphere from an infected person. Then, the symptoms include high fever, coughs, conjunctivitis, then and rashes across the skin. Okay. So, the symptoms include high fever, then coughs, rashes in the skin and conjunctivitis. Now, next disease is tuberculosis. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium known as Mycobacterium. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium known as Mycobacteria. And the symptoms include severe chest pain, then fever, then continued coughs, then weight loss, loss of appetite, night sweats, chills and so on. So, all these are the symptoms of tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium known as Mycobacterium and the symptoms include severe chest pain, fever, continued cough, loss of appetite, weight loss, chills and night sweats. Okay, so this is all about tuberculosis. Second one, through dirty food and water. Through dirty food and water. Now, you have seen that your mother, after preparing the food, she will cover the food and keep it. Okay? She is covering the food and keeping it. What will happen if you uncover the food? Yes, if you uncover the food, it will attract flies. Okay? Uncovered food and water will attract the flies. The flies will be carrying germs with them. Flies will be carrying germs with them. What will happen if you eat this food? If you eat this food, you will get diseases. Okay, the flies are carrying along with them the germs, and when these flies sit on the food and when you eat this food, you will get diseases. Okay, now which are the diseases which are transmitted in this way? Cholera and typhoid. Typhoid and cholera are spread in this way. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella bacteria. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella bacteria. What are the symptoms of this typhoid? Symptoms of typhoid are high fever, headache, abdominal pain, diarrhea, loss of appetite and fatigue. Okay. High fever, abdominal pain, diarrhea, loss of appetite and fatigue. Okay. Next is about cholera. Cholera is also another bacterial disease. Cholera is also another bacterial disease. What are the symptoms of cholera? Symptoms of cholera include high fever, abdominal pain, severe diarrhea and vomiting. Okay, high fever, abdominal pain, severe diarrhea and vomiting. So both two diseases, typhoid and cholera, they are both spread through contaminated food and water. Okay, so both two diseases, typhoid and cholera, are spread through contaminated food and water. Third one, through insects. Through insects. Mosquitoes and some other insects can transmit the germs when they bite us. Mosquitoes and some other insects can transmit the germs when they bite us. When a person suffering from malaria is bitten by mosquito, it sucks in germs along with the blood. When a person suffering from malaria is bitten by a mosquito, what is happening? The sucking up blood, okay, along with the germs. Okay, so that mosquito is taking up the germs also. And what will happen when this mosquito go and bite another person? The disease, okay, the malarial germs are transmitted to that person also through the bite. The malaria is a disease that is transmitted through mosquito bite. The symptoms of malaria are fever, chills, headache, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. Fever, chills, headache, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. Preventing communicable diseases. Preventing communicable diseases. How can we prevent these communicable diseases? These communicable diseases can be prevented by maintaining good personal and community hygiene. By maintaining good personal and community hygiene. As we are living in a society, we have to maintain community hygiene also to prevent this communicable diseases from spreading. Okay. Now, what's this term hygiene? The practices that ensure cleanliness and good health. Hygiene is the practice of ensuring good health and cleanliness. Hygiene is the practice of ensuring good health and cleanliness. Let's look the different ways we should follow to keep good hygiene. The different ways to follow good hygiene. First one, eat clean and healthy food. Eat clean, healthy food. Never eat food that is uncovered from roadside vendors and in the home also. Never eat any uncovered food. Now, second one, wash your hands properly. Wash your hands properly with either hand wash or soap. Okay, whichever is available, you should wash your hands properly before having the food. Take the food only in clean utensils. Have food from only clean utensils. Brush your teeth daily. Brush your teeth at least twice a day. Bath daily. Bath daily. Drink clean water only. Drink clean water only. Never drink unclean water. Never drink unclean water. Also, drinking water should be kept inside clean and covered utensils. Drinking water should be kept inside clean and covered utensils. We should not allow water to collect in and around our homes. Okay, what will happen if water is getting collected over there? This not, as it is not moving, it's be called as stagnant water. What is stagnant water? The water which is not moving. It is collected in some holes and all, and can be called as stagnant water. Mosquitoes will breed in that stagnant water. Okay, mosquitoes will breed in that stagnant water. Always throw garbage inside the dustbins. Always throw garbage inside the dustbins and dispose the garbages properly. Dispose the garbages properly. And never go near an infected person as far as possible. So never go near an infected person as far as possible. So these are some of the ways by which you can maintain good hygiene. So next you have to study about vaccination. What is vaccination? Vaccination is the administration of vaccines into your body. Vaccine. What is vaccine? Vaccines is a type of medicine that is administered into your body to develop immunity against a particular disease. Okay. Vaccines contain weakened microorganisms or the proteins or toxins from the microorganisms. Vaccine is a type of medicine that helps your body to develop antibodies when your body is infected by the disease-causing germs, and these antibodies will fight against the vaccine germs. Okay, so communicable diseases can be prevented by giving vaccinations. Vaccination helps to build resistance in the body. Many of the vaccinations are given to the children at an earlier age. Okay, that's all about vaccination. So, in this class, we learned in detail about the communicable diseases. Then, how these communicable diseases are spread through 3 ways. First one, through infected person with direct contact from an infected person. Second one, through contaminated food and water. Third one, through insects. Then we studied about 3 communicable diseases in detail. Next, we studied about the ways to prevent communicable diseases and some of the steps to maintain good hygiene. And last one, we studied about vaccination. Okay, in this class we studied all this. So read the text thoroughly, and next class I will be asking you questions.